The beginning of this unique story happened when, in the middle of the deserted Atlantic Ocean, a British merchant ship was passing through. The captain's attention went to a ship standing far away that was neither moving forward nor responding to their signals. Upon getting closer, it was discovered that this ship was standing all alone in the empty ocean, floating only with the help of waves. The strange thing was that inside the ship, the crew's belongings, food, and cargo were all perfectly safe and untouched. But what was missing were the crew members themselves, who had disappeared without leaving a single trace. This is the tale of the Mary Celeste, the mystery that has puzzled historians for the last 150 years, a secret that only the sea knows. Welcome once again to A2 Videos, dear viewers. This ship was originally named Amazon. During its early journeys, it faced several small accidents, which is why it became quite famous for being an unlucky ship. But until now, it had never faced a major incident. After changing ownership several times, it finally came into the possession of Captain Benjamin Briggs, who renamed it Mary Celeste. It was docked at the port of New York on 7th of November, and cargo was being loaded onto it. A total of 1,700 barrels of ethanol were loaded on Mary Celeste, not the drinking kind, but industrial alcohol meant for commercial use. All these barrels were to be carried from New York to the city of Genoa in Italy, across the Atlantic Ocean. There were a total of 10 people on board, including Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, his wife, and their 2-year-old daughter, along with 7 crew members. Before the journey began, there were no problems of any kind on the ship, and it smoothly set out on its voyage without any obstruction. The journey was about 7,500 kilometers long, and normally, in those days, such a long trip would take not just days, but several weeks to complete. Remember, at that time there was no GPS or advanced communication device. It had been 3 weeks since Mary Celeste left New York, and according to expectations, its arrival at the port of Genoa was eagerly awaited. But even after so much time, there was no sign or trace of Mary Celeste. By then, other ships that had left New York after Mary Celeste had already started reaching Genoa. The worry was growing. Why hadn't Mary Celeste reached its destination even after so many weeks? 10 days after Mary Celeste departed, another British ship also left New York, taking the same route toward Gibraltar. This was the Dei Gratia, which, after several weeks of sailing, on 4th of December 1872, spotted a ship standing still. The captain noticed that the ship wasn't moving forward on the water, but was just standing in one place. Seeing such a sight in that part of the sea made the captain suspicious, and he sent several signals from a distance. But when no reply came, the captain decided to go closer. Upon approaching, it was revealed that this was none other than the Mary Celeste, belonging to his own friend, the captain. It had been a full month since Mary Celeste left New York. The ship was seen standing lonely and motionless in the Atlantic Ocean, about 1,800 kilometers away from Gibraltar, with no signs of any activity. The captain of Dei Gratia sent some of his crew members aboard Mary Celeste, and they were shocked to see that there was absolutely no one on board. The ship that had left New York a month earlier with 10 people was now completely empty. Where had all those people vanished to in the middle of the ocean? That same question was now haunting the captain of Dei Gratia. At first, he thought maybe some accident had occurred, but when he inspected Mary Celeste, the entire ship was found to be perfectly intact. The captain's and his family's belongings, even the crew members' clothes, were untouched and in their places. Not only that, the goods they were carrying to Genoa were also completely safe. Even the food stock for the crew was still there, untouched. After a bit more inspection, a logbook was found in the captain's room. Captains of that time used to keep such logbooks to record the ship's maintenance and issues. In that logbook, the last entry made by Mary Celeste's captain was dated 25th of November at 8 a.m. That is, 10 days before the ship was found in this condition. This meant that the ship had been drifting alone in the deserted Atlantic Ocean for about 10 days. The captain of Dei Gratia was looking at all this, completely confused. Then his eyes fell on the lifeboat section, and he noticed that the lifeboat was missing. There could only be one explanation. Something must have happened on the ship, and everyone must have tried to save their lives by escaping in the lifeboat. In the captain's cabin, the navigation instruments were also missing, and under his bed, a sword was found lying inside its sheath. This was a clear sign that there had been no kind of attack on the ship, because if there had been, the sword would have been out of its cover, or missing altogether. Apart from the logbook, all other documents were also present there. Another thing noticed was that the ship's cabin was wet everywhere, and in some places, there was about 1.5 to 2 feet of water. However, it was not enough to damage a ship of this size. Here, let it be mentioned that according to international salvage law, if anyone rescues a ship, they are rewarded based on the value of that ship. Taking advantage of this law, the captain of Dei Gratia brought Mary Celeste all the way to Gibraltar, where the authorities kept the ship until the court hearings were completed. The court conducted its own investigations, but even after several hearings, no clues could be found. When even the court hearings failed to solve the case, people started making up their own stories. Some said that creatures from the sky had taken away the crew of Mary Celeste, while others believed that some sea monster had attacked them. Among all these made-up stories, one thing was true. Ever since Mary Celeste was built, accidents had been happening to it. Once it collided with another ship, and despite the collision being minor, that other ship sank. Later, when Mary Celeste was brought to port for repairs, before the repairs could even begin, its then captain suddenly fell ill and died before the voyage. Because of all these incidents, it began to be believed that perhaps Mary Celeste was cursed or haunted by spirits, and that's why this latest tragedy happened. Since then, Mary Celeste has also been given the title of Ghost Ship. But what really happened that day? There are a few theories about it, so let's look at them one by one. The first theory is about betrayal. Many people believe that the captain of Dei Gratia killed all the crew members of Mary Celeste and created this entire drama to claim the salvage law reward. But the thing to think about is that if this were true, there would have been some traces of blood or violence on the ship. Here, Dei Gratia's crew didn't leave behind any evidence, or maybe they erased all of it, or perhaps this theory itself is wrong. The second theory is quite interesting. According to this theory, the ship was carrying 1,500 barrels of alcohol, but when the ship was brought to the authorities, 9 of those barrels were found empty. It's possible that some of the alcohol barrels exploded, causing the crew to panic and escape in the lifeboat. However, in the area where the barrels were stored, there were no signs of an explosion or fire. The third theory suggests that perhaps the ship got caught in a sea storm and started taking on water. Seeing this, the captain might have decided to evacuate the ship, and everyone escaped in the small lifeboat. But that small lifeboat might not have been able to withstand the rough sea, which led to everyone's deaths. This theory seemed somewhat convincing, but still, it remained just a theory. There are many theories, but not a single one has been proven with evidence. Even after more than 150 years, this mystery remains unsolved. What actually happened with Mary Celeste? Under what circumstances did the captain abandon the ship, and where did they all go? This secret perhaps went away forever with Captain Benjamin Briggs himself. We hope you'll like and share this A2 video wholeheartedly, and we truly appreciate your loving comments. Thank you very much. See you in the next amazing video.